Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Squad. Coming to you from a virtual studio because I don't even know what happened. We're just not allowed to have power at the bar, I guess.
Why do you say it like that?
Because that's how Alyssa framed it to me.
The normal way to say it is the power went out.
Yeah. It sounded like a crisis almost happened over there. I don't know.
I would categorize any time the power going out as a crisis, low key.
For real.
Good, man. Fellas. How we doing today, man? It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Hump day, day 2 of fall camp in the books. Sheesh, man. It's really that time, and it feels like that time as well, which is, I think, more important.
I'm doing good. I do have a bone to pick with you guys.
Why? What did we do?
You just let Unk off the hook way too easily in the post-practice recap. Because before you guys even asked anything, he's like, yeah, it's too soon to say anything about the quarterback competition. And I would have immediately you guys know me. I'll always press Unk. I would have been like, no, it's never too soon to say something about the quarterback competition. So
low key.
I need some hard-hitting journalism out of you guys next time.
We'll do better. We'll rally and do better on Friday for you.
Facts. We'll see him on Friday. We'll get that update, no doubt.
I am pumped. I'm extremely excited because we are talking 60 minutes about the Colorado Buffaloes and football on the field. We've made it. We are here.
Yep.
A lot to talk about.
So today on the show, we'll get into a little bit of Boo Carter. Madden ratings came out for the Pro Buffs. Brent Key on Coach Prime's health. We'll talk Ben Gula, Jordan Seaton, the roster update, takeaways, standouts from practice, pressers today. But we start with what kind of came out after we were done with the show yesterday, or during the show, really. And that's Coach Prime introducing Byron Leftwich to the team. I don't think he formally gave him a title yet. I don't know if he has one on the roster yet, Scotty. But he's there, and he's coaching up Julian and Kaidon.
It's fantastic news. It's pretty funny because when I was at Broncos practice yesterday, someone asked me specifically about him. A former Buff asked me about him. And I said, I don't know. We don't know. We never know this. No one knows anything. Sometimes people just show up and then they're just there. And that's just how it works sometimes. I literally said, he could just be there today. And then I got home and I watched. I was like, there he is. He's here. It's just how things work around here, man. It's just everything's a surprise. So it's obviously great to see Byron Leftwich there, and listening to what Unk had to say about it. Of course, information that he offered up on his own. You guys didn't press it out of him. Was that these quarterbacks are just living and dying on every word, and that's great to hear from these guys. That they're that locked in with their quarterbacks coach, because he's, as was said, like, he coached Tom Brady. He played in the league. He balled out in college. Like, he's done the things that you guys want to do.
I just want to say that's cap. Unk obviously mentioned Byron Leftwich, and I pressed him. I'm like, you mentioned him earlier. Talk a little bit more about that for us, Unk. And that's when he went on that little soliloquy. So I just want to clear that air right there. But no, I mean, this is massive, right? I mean, we got first wind of Byron Leftwich potentially joining the staff earlier this spring, and then it was kind of like radio silence for the months after that, up until yesterday. And this is somebody, and Byron Leftwich, you mentioned it, right? This is a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator. Across the 2020 and 2021 regular seasons, when he was the OC in Tampa, the Bucs averaged 30.4 points per game, which was the most in the NFL. And it wasn't kind of like a quasi OC situation, because a lot of people kind of speculated that with kind of Bruce Arians being the head coach and an offensive minded guy. But Arians cleared the air right after that Super Bowl run about Leftwich. He goes, he does it all. He calls the plays. I'm really upset he didn't get a head coaching interview. Byron didn't even get a call. And I think people give Tom Brady and Bruce Arians way too much credit. This is Bruce Arians saying that, and not enough credit for Byron Leftwich. And, RKU alluded to it. These two quarterbacks in particular, right? Juju and Kaidon, just through 2 days. They're hanging on every word that Byron Leftwich has to say. When one of them is, in the game, so to speak, getting a live rep, the other one is right next to Byron Leftwich, talking through things, seeing, how he is thinking, how Byron Leftwich is thinking through things with his NFL mind. So this is something that obviously had, Julian Lewis excited when he committed, something that had his father, TC, really excited as well. So I just love to see this. And this is just another masterful offensive mind that has been added to this elite coaching staff, right? You think about Pat Shermer and all his NFL experience as OC, Marshall Falk being added to this coaching staff, and now Byron Leftwich just on the offensive side of the ball. In addition to Brett Bartolone, right, who's a tight ends coach who, we just learned today, added pass game coordinator to his coaching title as well. So there's a lot of brain power, so to speak, on this offensive staff. And I think it's going to pay real good dividends for the quarterbacks in particular, but the offense as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, going back to last year, I mean, they had Shador and Travis, and they put up points, and they won a lot of games, right? But there were a lot of things that we talked about that could be better. The running game in particular, just, helping with pass protection, moving the pocket, running the quarterback, with Kaidon in the fold now. Like, Byron Leftwich, he's kind of been there and done that as a player already. And then you throw on this 7 years of coaching experience with the Super Bowl ring, with Tom Brady. Like, I mean, this has to be a quarterback's dream, honestly, for this offense right now. And I think it gives us all a lot of encouragement that the offense, in the many ways they were deficient last year, it's all in front of them to be better. The collaborative effort that you're going to get from not just Leftwich, but Bartolone, Pat Shermer, all these guys, Marshall Falk. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You can't help but feel optimistic about the offense at this point.
I just want to say, too, Pat Shermer, that man better tighten up, because there are some people now in this building, Byron Leftwich, and again, I mentioned Brett Bartolone, who is, taking a step up, at least in title, on that offensive coaching staff. It wouldn't shock anybody, because it just happened a couple years ago. Coach Prime midseason makes a coaching change for whatever reason. And it might be good enough offensively for some people, but we all know that Coach Prime is a higher standard than most people. And if it's not up to his standard, clearly he has people, I think, on staff that he would be willing and comfortable elevating to that role. So, I've talked about it quite a bit this offseason. The lack of pre-snap motion and pre-snap shifts that were used last year that I think really hurt this offense at times, and was kind of, overlooked by the greatness of Shador and Travis. But you're obviously going to have those two guys last year. So you're going to have to get creative with the offensive play calling. And that ultimately falls on Pat Shermer until it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of a crazy thing to say with maybe any other coach other than Coach Prime. Yeah. Coach Prime does not play around when it comes to this stuff, and he has a history of pulling the trigger early in a season if he doesn't like what he's seeing. That being said, in the clips that we've been able to see, I've already seen some more creativity on the offensive side of the ball, even just formational creativity. So, as I always am going to be, I'm going to be optimistic about Pat Shermer's ability to not only do this himself, but do this with the help that he has around him, with Brett Bartolone being the passing game coordinator, with Byron Leftwich being in the building. I mean, the offensive coordinator's got to call the plays at the end of the day, and that's going to make a big difference between whether it wins and losses. But he doesn't do it alone. He doesn't create an offense alone. He doesn't install an offense alone. Yep. So I'm hoping that together this group can get this offense, rolling in short order.
I mean, yeah, for sure. All of that. And as you mentioned it, this is and has been a collaborative effort. Like, that's how they built the offense last year. I mean, whether someone, Shador, or whoever else had more input than anyone else the last two seasons, I mean, he is on the hot seat, I think, in some regards. Like, they have to run the ball better. And it's a lot of that situational play calling. That's what a lot of it was last year for them. And again, maybe Shador checked out of them, or, he threw the RPO more than, ran the ball. But this year they have to make progress on that front. And it's clear Coach Prime is not going to settle for whatever last year was, even though it was successful, as many teams would call it. It has to be better. So.
When they don't have the Shador emergency court anymore, like, the last couple of days, I don't know why, just my timeline's been getting filled up with Shedeur like highlights from last season, and it's just like this dude was making magic play in and play out. He's so underappreciated. It is insane to me.
No doubt.
Truthfully. All right, let's transition into pressers. We had Coach Livingston, DJ McKinney, and Carter Stoutmire on the podium today. All three of them, of course, asked about Coach Prime's return. They all saw him in the spring, but clearly, Coach Prime kept it pretty under wraps what he was going through. So this was their reaction to what Coach had to say that first team meeting and just having him back in the building.
This is the first, and I know we've talked about that, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. And so Friday, we have a staff meeting and kind of one-on-one, we're having a conversation. And the first question he asked about my family. We talked about it. Luke played baseball with my son. Prime's talking about his stance and all these things, and he wants to know how that's going. So it's just a testament to who he is. Obviously, his leadership is one of one. He's the Pied Piper. The world will follow him if they just listen to him. So we're blessed.
What was your first reaction when you heard the news? What was your thought process?
Scared, I think, like everybody. We're talking about a life here. So this football stuff, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But it's a testament to who he was. He keeps a tight inner circle. Again, he was away and we were working, and just knowing that when he comes back, he's going to hit the ground running. And that first staff meeting went about like you thought it would. Hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So it's not like he was, just hanging out. He was taking care of his life, number one, and then worried about his team, number two. So again, a testament to who he is. If we all lived our life like that, the world would be a better place.
Brian, go ahead. Hey, we're
Your leader back.
Honestly, just having Coach Prime's presence back in the building is an amazing feeling. A lot of guys who recently transferred here didn't really get to see him too much. So now it's just cool seeing him and guys being aware of him and his personality and everything, and just getting to know him and stuff. So I feel like everybody just has a chip on their shoulder, honestly, with Coach Prime's presence, and then just being out here.
It hit different for me just because that's like family to me. So it was like real genuine concern, because that's like an uncle to me. So there was a whole lot of concern, but I knew God got him at the end of the day, because he'd been through so much in his past, stuff like this. So whatever hardships, trials he goes through, he always makes it through. So just seeing him back, just a breath of fresh air for the whole team.
Is he the swagger still?
Oh yeah, ain't no question about that.
So there you go. Who wants to break that down first?
We kind of alluded to this earlier in the week after, Coach Prime's presser on Monday, but I don't know how everybody on this team just don't get turned up another notch, another level, having seen their leader, the man, Coach Prime, go through what he went through, come on the other side of it, and still be here for the first day of camp looking like himself, looking like the vintage Coach Prime. And, just a couple of those anecdotes, like Coach Livingston talking about the first time he talked to Coach Prime after, and he was like, how's your fam? Coach Prime is asking about Robert Livingston's fam and wondering about how his son's baseball swing is and whatnot. And even Carter today talking about, he was like, it hit different for me because that's family. Like, he really means that. Carter said this today, and I didn't know this. I don't know if Jake, you knew this, or RK, you knew this, but the day Carter was born, Coach Prime was in the hospital room, was in that room when Carter Stoutmire was born. Like, that's as locked in as it gets. And that just, I think those two anecdotes just speak to the man that we all know Coach Prime is, that a lot of people are skeptical to come around on the man that Coach Prime is. But it's just cool to see that stuff. And, Jake, you hit it on the head right after that presser on Monday, man. The last team I would want to be is whoever is on Colorado schedule week.
It's whatever DJ just said there. Everyone's got a chip on their shoulder, man. How can you not after that?
Well, and all of this just took me back to Big George talking to the team yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, what a speech. That had me, like kicking my feet up, like a horse getting ready to take off in the Kentucky Derby, kicking dirt back, just ready to go. I could not. I watched it 3 times. Just he was on fire. Every word was delivered with such passion and power. It really that really had me fired up. Like I tweeted, I was like, how am I supposed to wait 31 days for a game after that? Like, what are we doing here? That is too much hype for how far away we are from the game. But it was, just hearing all those guys and especially Carter talk, it reminded me of everyone freaking out about Carter on the sidelines, barking with Coach Prime. And it's like, it's a different relationship, and maybe it was still not the right thing to do, but it's a little different when it's, as he described him, your uncle, rather than, just your coach. But on top of all that, Carter looks like a grown ass man. My God, bro.
It's crazy, man. Coach Swayze, he put in work this offseason, and the guys responded. Carter's dad, Omar Stoutmire, I mean, he comes into the league in 97 to the Dallas Cowboys, spends 2 years with Coach Prime there. It's the same thing with Coach Mathis. I mean, these relationships on the staff, man, they go deep. And these kids who are also coaches' sons, not Coach Prime, but just other coaches' sons on the team, like, they really are family. You can throw in Caleb and Cole in there too. Like, the Mathis family, they go back as well with Coach Prime. So, long ties. We got to take our first break, though, and then we'll dig into the rest of the pressers. Shout out to the homies over at Game Time. We are a month out. What did Neely say? Tomorrow? When's August? 2 days?
Friday.
Scotty, on Friday, you can say this month there's a game for the Colorado Buffaloes. So hit up our friends over at Game Time. Check out the schedule. We got 7 home games. I mean, come out. Hang out with us at Folsom Field. It is an absolute party out there. Broncos tickets, NFL tickets, MLB still going on right now, concert shows, whatever's going on in your city. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What time is it?
Game time. Also, shout out to our friends over at Raising Cane's. Jake and I stopped into Raising Cane's the other day, and we were a few miles outside of Boulder, and we walk into Raising Cane's, big old Buff sign on the door or on the wall in there, repping the Buffs, supporting Colorado teams. That's one of my favorite things about going into a raid. That was the first time we've been in that Raising Cane's. Every time I go into a new Raising Cane's, just check out the art. They have some sweet stuff in there. They usually some cool Colorado stuff. I know that one of the locations got a signed Gabriel Landeskog jersey, I think, from when he was at our bar. So they're always repping, and the food was amazing. I think my favorite part about that meal that we had, Jake, was the food came out piping hot. I just appreciate that so much. Like, I want to have to wait for my food to cool down to eat it. I don't know if that's crazy, but then I know I can have it at the exact temperature, and that Raising Cane's was on point. The fries were steaming, the chicken fingers were on fire, and then you just cool it down by dipping it into that cane sauce, maybe a little coleslaw on there as well. Fantastic stuff from our friends over at Raising Cane's. Order at raisingcanes.com or on the Cane's mobile app.
I thought you were going to mention the girl who threw my chicken tender on the ground.
Whoa.
It was accident. It was
an accident. All right. Let's go to pressers. I mean, first time back talking to the guys. So that was fun in and of itself, but I do think we learned something today too. I mean, we're only 2 days in. And the first one we'll go to, I mean, Scott, you tried to get quite a bit out of Coach Livingston when you asked him about the shooters getting shots, right?
Yeah.
Well, first off, let's talk about best players, because he was actually asked an interesting question. I think a lot of folks in the chat would appreciate this, about whether the best players are always going to play on Colorado's defense. So here's what Coach Liv had to say about that.
How do you make sure that the best player always plays, or make sure that the best player who might leave doesn't? You know what I mean? How do you balance that dynamic?
You're really giving me a recruiting pitch here, so let me make sure I look into the cameras. There is nothing given here. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million or you're a walk-on. I think if you guys think back to the Oklahoma State game last year, I know it's late in the year, we started 3 walk-ons, right? So we're going to play the best players. Some of these stories you hear with guys coming through, it makes no sense to me. I got 4 kids. They like nice things. We need to win games. That's our job. There's a phenomenal city behind us. There's obviously a nation behind us. We're on national TV all the time. we need to go win, and we know what that looks like. As you alluded to with the staff, we have the men here that know what it takes to get to the next level. So it's our job to play the best players, and it is what it is, right?
I just like Coach Rob going up and giving his recruiting pitch, because I don't think we hear that stuff too much from him.
That's the consistent pitch too across the coaching staff. You're not getting promised nothing here. That comes from Coach Prime all the way down to every coach on the staff. Like, if you come in here looking for a bag or looking for promises on playing time or whatever, this just simply isn't the place for you. But if you're a dog and you're looking to get coached up by NFL type coaching, if you're looking to be on national television every damn week, if you're looking to, again, be and make it to the next level, Colorado is the place for you. And I love that, like you said, Jake, Coach Liv took that opportunity to look at the camera and get in them recruits' ears.
But I love that when he said he was giving a recruit pitch, it really wasn't that. It was actually like a message to recruits. Not like a come play, we need you, come play for us. It was like, just so you know, you should come here, but nothing will be handed to you when you do.
Message.
And that sticks with guys. Some guys, if winning and culture and those things are important to you, that will hit with you. I mean, Jordan Seaton is a perfect example of a guy who said that he went on these visits and everyone just pumped his tires and told him how great he was and this, that, and the other. And then Coach Rhyme said, I got 3 things I need you to work on. I mean, so while it might not get you the big stars next to all the names and for all of these guys, it will get you the right guys.
Totally. It's been the message since day one, and obviously Coach Rob, he's fully on board with it. Scotty, I admire your shot with the question here, asking. I
tried, bro. I tried.
Asking Coach Rob which shooters are going to get shots up in this defense, but he gave some info up. So here's what he had to say.
Well, I got to give you the coach speak answer there. I'm sorry. Hopefully we have 11 of them. Again, it starts with the guys that are coming back. We really talk about culture here. I think we talked about Prime at length. He does a phenomenal job building that culture. So the guys that have been here, they know how blessed they are, number one. So again, it goes back to that defensive line. Arden Walker, I think Quincy Wiggins done some good things. Obviously, we're much bigger on the inside than last year, so that'll look a little bit different. And then you try to get Preston and DJ in positions where they can go make plays. I think DJ's got a chance to have a breakout year. I tell him this all the time. I think he's probably coming up next, so you guys can tell him that. DJ can be as good as he wants to be. DJ, the world is DJ's oyster. So I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Quincy Wiggins season, boys.
I know that was going to turn my boy Jacob. That's crazy, though. I mean, the second mention right after Arden Walker, I mean, that's not nothing, that mention of Quincy Wiggins there.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't want to answer your question, but he kind of did.
He did, yeah.
He did. And honestly, I mean, I wrote about this, and I didn't even realize that quote I was used in my story today was to the question I asked, but I thought that was the most intriguing answer from this perspective. And I'll just reread the quote from Coach Robert Livingston. He goes, "We'll do some things defensively that are drastically different from what we did last year. A little bit more of the NFL stuff." And I was like, what could he mean by that? And so I wrote about that today. Go check that out on the DNVR.com for all the diehards. Make sure you become a diehard if you want to, right? This is quite literally the best time to do it as we're approaching on football season here. But I wrote about like how this defense could look drastically different, to use Coach Livingston's words, in year 2 in his scheme. And I think it's something that a lot of people have been clamoring for. We certainly talked about it on the show, but obviously this team pretty much exclusively ran man coverage last year, right? And when you have corners who thrive in one-on-one man coverage like Travis Hunter, like DJ McKinney, Preston Hodge, even Colton Hood, that makes sense to be your kind of DNA as a defense. But with 2 of those 4 guys no longer in the fold, obviously Preston and DJ back, and obviously we like where the rest of the cornerback room is, but we don't know if they're to the caliber of those other guys. It would certainly behoove you to play more zone coverage, and that's when Coach Livingston is talking about we're going to do some more of the NFL stuff. That's what the NFL game is. I did some research, 60%, it's pretty much 60-40 zone coverage versus man coverage in the NFL. And specifically when Coach Livingston was in Cincinnati with the Bengals, that was their DNA defensively. That's what helped them get to a Super Bowl in 2021 with that defense, which really didn't have a lot of stars, particularly at corner, right? They were led by, Jesse Bates at safety, who was really good, got paid, soon after that run with Cincinnati. But that was kind of their DNA in Cincinnati. And I think that's what we're going to see change a little bit defensively for Colorado in 2025. Switch it up a little bit more, play a lot more zone coverage, allow DJ and Preston to get their shots lurking, right, a little bit in zone coverage, right? Because when you play zone coverage, there is a higher rate of turnovers forced. And that wasn't really a problem for last year for Colorado. They had, I believe, 15 interceptions, third most in the Big 12. But just getting those guys the chance to be around the football more and make plays on the football more. And another thing he mentioned there too, Coach Livingston, he was like, we're a bit bigger on the defensive line this year, right? And when you're better on the defensive line up front, it's going to allow you to take less chances with blitzing and with man coverage and allow you to play more zone and sit back a little bit more and let guys play the football. So I thought that was really insightful, and I'm thinking that that's where we're going to see a bit more zone coverage, and I think that'll help these guys. And one more final thing about that, he's talking about the NFL, right? DJ McKinney's the future NFL guy. We believe Preston Hodge is the future NFL guy. They played a lot, pretty much exclusively man coverage last year. NFL coaches and scouts are going to want to see these guys and know that they can play zone coverage as well, because that's what they're going to be asked to do in the NFL. Like I just mentioned, it's about 60-40 zone versus man in the NFL. So I think this is twofold, helping the defense and also helping these guys for the next level as they get ready for their NFL careers.
100%. And I mean, a guy like DJ, he's going to be intriguing to all NFL talent evaluators. But even if you're a team that like exclusively or heavily runs zone,
right?
I mean, the amount of space that he covers with his wingspan and the amount of, just essentially how much zone he can handle on his own, in addition to being able to use his length to guard guys one-on-one, is going to be really intriguing. I think of like a Tariq Woolen, who went to Seattle, and he's so long, but you thought of him with that speed as more of a man guy, or at least some people did. And then he goes out there and it's just like, well, yeah, but he can just float around this zone so well. And he covers so much ground. So it's going to be great for these guys to add a few things to their toolbox.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of go along with that too, remember last year, Rob Livingston, I mean, it was Super Bowl when he was hired, right? Like he was kind of just thrown into it. And he mentioned that, when he was designing the defense, we're going to rip it down to the studs and kind of base it around our players. But it's a more simple defense than what we were running last year with Charles Kelly, or what they were running with Charles Kelly. So it's just the evolution of all that, right? I mean, this defense is truly in its second year with Robert Livingston at the helm and with some of these key players coming back. So you're just going to see natural advancements on the scheme from what they were throwing out there last year. So, and this is another big takeaway that I think we can get into a bit later here when we talk about practice, but everyone just feels so comfortable. Like Coach Prime, when he's talking about like, I'm excited to be with the team, yes, and back in Boulder at the Champion Center, but I'm excited to be home in Colorado too. Like Coach Livingston kind of talked about that as well. Like this is truly Coach Prime's program at CU now. I mean, not that it hasn't been the last 2 years, but like everyone is settled in. Everyone feels comfortable. They don't have to learn the buildings anymore. They don't have to learn as many people's names. Like that's going to go a long way for the communication on defense and on offense this season.
And I think this is something Unk mentioned to us afterwards when we were doing takeaways and whatnot, but this is the first time in the Coach Prime era where he's had both coordinators back for a season. Like that's massive. Not having to learn a new coach's, vernacular and their kind of keywords and their type of scheme. Like there's a lot of carryover from both Shermer and Livingston. Obviously, they're going to do different things from what we saw last year, but just being on the same page and coming back for a year or two instead of having to learn kind of everything from scratch, I think is just going to have this team really locked and loaded from week one on.
Wow, I love it. And I feel like the team feels really loose just watching them, mess around in the locker room. And I think that for the guys who have been here for a few years now, they're kind of used to what it's like to play for Coach Prime and the eyeballs and the judgment and the, criticism. And I think at first, for anyone, that's going to be like a little bit of a shock to the system. And now I just feel like everyone's just like, yeah, this is just how it is. This is how we roll. Like, and maybe the fact that there seems to be a slightly less, stones being thrown at this team.
Bull John.
Yeah, exactly, as before, which actually leads me to something I want to say on the other side of the break.
All right, let's take this break.
Shout out to the squad, our good friends, our new friends over at Chicken and Pickle, man. They got a super fun event that we're going to be at here this Saturday, August 2nd at 10 a.m. Join us for our 2025 Summer Pickleball Tournament at Chicken and Pickle. We're obviously benefiting big brothers, big sisters of Colorado at the Chicken and Pickle at Thornton. Again, it's this Saturday, August 2nd at 10 a.m. It's going to be a day filled with fun, with competition, and giving back to such a great cause. So whether you're a pickleball pro or just starting out, this is the event for everyone. So grab your paddle, get your friends together, and get ready to play your heart out for a great cause. Let's make a difference together while having a blast on the pickleball court. I'll see you there. Sign up at thednvr.com/events to reserve your spot. Shout out to Chicken and Pickle.
And also shout out our great friends at FanStake. It's the new era of college football. For your team to be as good as you want them to be, you, the fans, have got to kind of help out with that. And that's where our friends at FanStake come in. It's a new platform where you can pledge direct support to athletes. So here's how it works. Portal's closed right now. Some recruits may be on there, but really, go take a look at the Colorado roster. You can stake players that are currently on the roster, and those players have an opportunity to sign an NIL deal with FanStake and then get a cut of that stake that you put on them. You're staking a portal player, someone who's not on Colorado yet, even if they decide not to come to Colorado, this is risk-free. The money just goes straight back into your account if they do not come to Colorado. CU is currently the 5th most popular fan base, so let's get those numbers up. We got to be number 1, right? We have the capabilities. FanStake is currently offering new fans a free $25 credit, no credit card required or strings attached. We're encouraging everyone to join us in staking. Anyone got a pick today?
Omarion Miller.
Shout out Omarion Miller. We will definitely talk about him very, very shortly. Stake him to keep him on the Buffs. Click the link in our description, scan the QR code, or just head to fanstake.com. Use promo code DNVR to help keep Omarion Miller with the Buffs. All right, RK, go ahead.
So I mentioned Big George and the amazing speech that he had yesterday, and it was incredibly moving. But I would be remiss if I wouldn't mention what I think could be the motto of the season, dropped by our guy, Ben Finiseth. As he was breaking down the team at the end of the practice, he said, "Nobody believes in us. Everybody's disrespecting us. We were picked 5th to last in the Big 12. And then here's the gem. Let's show them what the fuck they're missing." That also got me so fired up. So, you might have to omit the expletive there if we're putting it on a shirt, but show them what they're missing is a nice, I think, little motto for the season.
Bro, every single football team needs a Ben Finiseth. Some dude who brings the juice every single day and has obviously come along as a leader, was asked to take on a bigger leadership role and has done that, I think, better than anybody could have asked or foreseen. So shout out to Ben. I mean, even coming off the practice field today, like he was turned, like gave us a little wave from afar away. Like every team needs somebody like him, man. And I'm excited to see his final year of eligibility, right? How he goes out there and balls.
All right, let's run through the rest of these pressers. Next up, we got DJ McKinney, who, when we talk to Unk after practice, RK, right, we usually ask him about player of the day, and he gives us a pick. Coach Prime's adopted that. He's now giving out a player of the day for each practice. He's also given out a not player of the day. I won't use the word that he used, but
wait,
what?
Who is that?
Coach Prime, he gives out player of the day. He also gives out turd of the day now.
It was dog of the day, right? Dog of the day and turd of the day?
I think so, yes. But anyways.
The well-off video cut before they got to turd of the day.
Well, yeah, we don't have to go there. But I will tell you, the one player who was turd of the day one, said that will never happen again. And this is a new player, too. So, good stuff.
Dang.
Anyways, DJ was player of the day yesterday. He's also asked where he wants to improve on this year. Here he is.
Honestly, my motivation is just my team. You know, I want to be the best for them. I want to lock down my side of the field. And then honestly, you know, hearing Coach Prime's journey with the issues he was dealing with, you know, it makes you feel a certain type of way because, you know, that's your coach. You know, you look up to him and you just want the best for him. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that's my motivation, my team and my coach. Definitely my short area quickness, quick twitch and things of that nature. And then, you know, just when I'm in phase, you know, finding that ball, making a play on the ball and giving it back to my offense. And at the end of the day, just lock down my side of the field. That's my goal.
All right, DJ, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, man.
Big year incoming.
I love it, man. I feel like people forget kind of the tear that DJ was on to end this season, right? I talk about that a lot, like late season kind of momentum can potentially, you know, carry on to the next season. He had an interception in 3 of the last 4 games last season. 3 of the last 4 games, DJ McKinney had a pick. And obviously one of them he took back to the crib against his former team, Oklahoma State. So, you know, we heard Livingston earlier say that, like, DJ McKinney can be as good as he wants to be. The world is his oyster. And clearly it sounds like DJ knows what he wants and needs to work on to reach the level that he wants to reach the level that he's capable of reaching. And with the coaching that he's receiving from Coach Mathis, Coach Prime, Coach Livingston, you know, the rest of that staff, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be one of the best cornerbacks in college football this year. And, you know, a pretty high draft pick next year as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so excited for DJ. I really am. I think he's going to have a special season. Scotty, I'm curious, what do you think of the double arm sleeve look?
I think it's all right for like his position. For corners, that's cool.
All right.
I don't mind it. And I feel like you gotta have. Let me think about how I want to say this. You have to have the right arms for that type of work. If that makes sense.
Everybody walking on eggshells on this show.
Which is crazy. Like, why do we got to do that? But
You say something like "run that mouth," and you know that's just attached to you for months.
I'm for real though. If y'all know what I'm saying, like, not everybody can pull off the 2-sleeve look, but I think DJ can.
Yes, you know, you're right. I like it. Cornerbacks gotta have the drip, the swag on, bro.
Yeah.
You got to get creative with it at that position too. I love it.
I honestly think that DJ is the new leader in terms of on-field swag.
Yeah.
Again, Omarion's on-field aesthetic though is pretty fresh. All right, DJ has also asked about leaders stepping up, guys who have popped to him already 2 days in. Here's what we have to say.
Yeah, so the guys last year, they definitely set the foundation, you know, for the leadership. They kind of, you know, made it to where, you know, the guys who are still here will pick it up and raise the ceiling, honestly. But, yeah, I've seen Martavius French in the linebacker group. You got Barnes in the D-line group. You got Tafiq Byron in the safety room. You got me, Preston, Carter in the corner room. It's just, you seeing guys come together and, you know, just all have the same mindset and goals. So it's just amazing feeling. We excited for the season.
Love Martavius French being mentioned that early.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, the pick 6 yesterday, you know, today he's being mentioned, you know, by a team leader as a team leader on that defense. I think the arrow was pointing up on number 37. And that's something that we kind of needed to see, right? Because there's some uncertainty in that room. We're obviously counting on, you know, not only French, but Reggie Hughes. And there's some other guys and Kylan Salter and whatnot, Jeremiah Brown, Montrezl Walker, potentially Sean Myers, who are going to be in that mix as well. But this linebacker room is going to have to be strong like it was last year. So I think Martavius and Reggie in particular, from what we've seen so far, there should be some good optimism surrounding those two.
Also, I feel like DJ's getting some shit for getting mossed by Omarion. Like, everyone's getting mossed by Omarion at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the club.
You're going to be – if you're out there, you're going to get mossed by him.
For real. And I just love to see them two going at it, right? Because I think it's some of, like, wasted reps. Like, if O is going against, you know, a corner who is not going to see the field this year, or vice versa, DJ is going against a receiver who's not going to see the field this year, that's not getting anybody better. And especially right now, day 2 of fall camp, this is when you want to see, best on best, at least in one-on-one situations, because that's the only thing or the biggest thing that's going to get these guys better and ready for week 1. So I love anytime I see good on good, I'm happy. I don't care if it's, somebody getting mossed or somebody getting a pick, because everybody is going to get their chances, right? RJ Johnson was catching some flack yesterday on day 1 of camp for, again, Omarion Miller making a play. Yeah. And then today, against Omarion Miller, RJ Johnson in 101s getting the PBU, looking like how he looked pretty much all spring and whatnot. So this is what happens. Sometimes you get me, sometimes I get you. That's football.
Diallo says Travis Hunter got mossed by O.
Thank you. I was going to say, O's been doing this. This isn't a new thing. Like, guys have been getting mossed by O for 3 years now.
Yep. I don't remember specifically Travis getting mossed, but I've seen O do this since his first practice.
Exactly. Okay, 2 more clips. Let's get through them quickly. Here's Carter Stoutmire, just talking about playing purely safety this year and how much more comfortable he is with that.
This year they want me to focus on safety, but I'm a Swiss Army knife still. So when I train, I still got to focus on all 3 different positions: corner, nickel, safety. But this whole off season was really my first full off season, being able to train for safety fully. So my dad playing safety, learning route concepts, stuff like that. Game with Coach Rob, trying to learn the ins and outs, and really playing middle field safety, going to get the ball. Yes, sir.
So where's your confidence level now compared to maybe when you had the time in there before?
Tremendously, because crazy situation. When I went in last year, those are my first actual reps of safety ever in games. So I was just going in there just playing ball, not really knowing. I know the scheme, but how to really play the position, being savvy, disguise the coverages, all that. So I have a full offseason on my belt, so I feel like I can really take my game to the next level this year.
Once again, put some respect on his name.
Real spill. And this is how I know Carter and Coach Prime been around each other for a long time. Matt asked Carter, so what's your level of comfortability with playing safety? He goes, tremendously. That is literally Coach Prime right there.
I can play a plethora of positions.
Exactly.
Expeditiously.
Yeah. I learned safety expeditiously.
Oh, man, that just had me dead. But no, I mean, that's noteworthy that Carter Stoutmire is saying, no, this is the first offseason where I've been able to just focus on the position that I'm going to be playing this year full time and not really have to worry about, let me work in at nickel. Let me make sure I get my corner reps. He is locked in at safety, and I think we're going to see the best version of Carter Stoutmire this year because of it. And I talked about it, the last time we were talking about the Carter Stoutmire disrespect that's out there in some circles. People are tainted by what they saw in the Alamo Bowl versus BYU. When he was playing nickel corner for an injured and out Preston Hodge, and he was put in a spot that I don't think he was really comfortable in. If you watch his play, he didn't look comfortable. And now that he's back in his natural spot of safety, a spot that he really thrived in last year when Shiloh Sanders was out with that forearm injury. We're going to see the best of him this year, Carter Stoutmire, and I really, really, really like that safety duo of Carter Stoutmire and Tawfiq Byard, whose name keeps popping up, whether it be from players, whether it be from Robert Livingston. Tawfiq Byard is a player, dude, and that safety duo with him and Carter is going to be nasty. It's going to give a lot of offenses problems.
And I just got to say, I'm real sick of people who watched one film breakdown on YouTube telling me what Carter can and can't do. That was a true sophomore out there who was asked to step up for a team leader. It's not going to be easy for a guy like that, who, by the way, changed positions in the offseason. Mm-hmm. I just feel like sometimes we completely forget how this shit works. These guys come in as kids and they end up leaving as men. And there's a process that goes on there. It doesn't just happen overnight. So now you have Carter, who's focused on the same position for a whole season, learning under Shiloh, getting his licks, getting a chance to get out there. And now an entire offseason where he is expected to be the starter. He's going to level up. That's how this works.
And again, the third year of college football is usually a breakout year for someone like Carter, who's gotten as much on-field experience as he has the last 2 years while not being a starter. This should be someone everyone is extremely excited about this season. And he mentioned in that clip there, he was thrown out there playing ball last year at one point. You know what I mean? And what else can you expect from him? I mean, he hadn't gone through learning the ins and outs of the position, all the keys that he needs to learn. He's probably learning stuff in the huddle from the guys he's in there with, whether it's, Cam, Shiloh, Travis, all those people, Nakai, whoever was in there, So give him some time. Let him have this offseason. And I think that he's going to prove a lot of y'all wrong who are constantly on his neck for stuff that was kind of out of his control.
Facts.
Last clip, and we'll use this to transition into takeaways from practice, what we've learned the last 2 days. This might be the most, informational clip of the day. Carter talking about CU's offense and what he's seen from the two quarterbacks so far.
Yeah, it's just been good, Joe. During the summer, we do POPs just 7 on 7, but it's good to see live bullets and all that, so you really got to be on your P's and Q's. Offense, they're going to be something this year for sure. Kaidon and Juju, they bring two totally different aspects of the offense, but they both bring it, though. So it's just good. When Kaidon's in there, that's good prep for like a Georgia Tech sort of team speed option. Juju, it's going to be air raid, so. But we still going to run the ball at the end of the day because the way they ran the ball on us yesterday, it's going to be something serious this year. Y'all watch out.
How'd they run on you yesterday?
They got us. All I'll say, but we shook back today. Yep.
That's awesome.
That's great stuff.
Bro, hey, the offensive line, that running game must have really put it, because usually defensive players would never want to give that, that credence, that credit to the other side of the ball. But Carter clearly felt like he had no choice. Like, hey, no, they got us on day one. I ain't gonna lie. And I think, like you said, as we transition to takeaways, like I think that might be my biggest takeaway after, 2 practices, especially, couple of what we heard from Unk after practice today, where he was like, this isn't just talk. This team is going to be a running football team. Like, Dallin is looking good. Micah is looking good. DeKalen is going to bring a different dimension, I think, of explosion to this offense, both as a runner and as a pass catcher. And sheesh, I've been kind of saving this, but the starting offensive line through 2 practices is what, I thought it would be back in April. And I don't want to hear anybody say like, oh no, it's too early for a starter. No, it's not. When you know the caliber of players who are in the room who have been added to a team, especially in this case, like, we know Seaton is locked in on the left side, but adding those 2 guards with that kind of demeanor that they have, the physicality they play with, the experience that they bring to this team, obviously talking about Zy Crisler and Xavier Hill, is just going to open up just a different dimension of this offense with the run game, right? And it has to. And they addressed one of the biggest areas of need. This was the worst rushing offense in college football last year, and that won't be the case this year because of the guys they added up front. And Larry Johnson looked like a problem at that right tackle spot too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would not want to see that 6'7", 350+ pound man in my way at all. So that's what another 300+ pound man next to him, who's also 6'7", and Zy Crisler. So this offense is going to be more balanced, and I'm excited to see the fruits of the labor here when it comes to the running game here this fall.
Amen. And I hadn't thought about this aspect when Carter was talking about the 2 different styles that come with playing against those quarterbacks. What great preparation for the defense to get to play both styles. Those are the 2 more common styles that you're going to see. In week 1, you're going to see a lot more like what you see from Kaidon Salter. And so, like, the fact that you get to do that, and then, down the road, we'll just say, like, against Arizona State, you're probably going to see the ball go up in the air a little bit more. The fact that you're getting cross-trained in those 2 aspects of the defense when you're going against those guys is a big advantage. And again, hearing that, I really thought I have more confidence in the fact that both of these quarterbacks are going to play because of the challenge that it will present defenses to have to face both of those things in one game.
That's exactly it. I mean, the big takeaway really is what Carter said about yesterday, the fact that they're already running the ball better, it seems, than they were last year. And you mentioned the offensive line, Scotty. That's a huge factor. And yeah, the 2 quarterback system is already it's already existing. It's already there. Like, it's already in work. So It's going to be exciting. I mean, we're going to see, I think, two totally different offenses potentially when Julian and Kaidon are on the field, and I'm excited to see how that works. They got the pieces for it to work, though, in both ways. I'm excited. Omarion Miller is just unbelievable. Did you see the touchdown catch today? I mean, my Lord. First off, again, just what we said yesterday, he's got to be up there in terms of the biggest like winners from Coach Swayze as well. He looks totally different. Again, bouncing back from injury and just the dominance that he's showing. Dare I say, it's almost Travis-like to this point, like where it's like, what else can you do? Like we're already just going, oh, that's Omarion. Like he just does that. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Facts. I mean, to me, he looks like an NFL wide receiver. Going into his true junior season, he looks like an NFL wide receiver. And man, that is scary for opposing defenses. But like, we started on O at the beginning of the offseason. I was like, that's the guy. Mm-hmm. And then there's been a lot of like meandering because new players come in and it's new and exciting and all these things. And like the first 2 days of practice, it's been like a reminder of why we started with O. Like that dude is different.
I just want to know how long he's going to stay a secret to those outside of the CU football space. All right. Is it going to be week 1?
I was going to say he's got a month left.
He's got about 30 so days. Yeah, I think you might be right, bro, because that is a problem. And right, he's already shown us the ability to take a slant or a hitch rather to the crib, right? Or take a crossing route, break a tackle, and go all the way. I mean, what we've seen the last 2 days is just the short air, the red zone stuff. Throw up a jump ball, right? Or go elevate, in a one-on-one situation. Like this is somebody who's turning into you can't do anything against him, right? You give him cushion, okay, he'll take a slant, he'll make you miss. You press up on him, he'll run past you or head tap you. Like it's gonna get scary, and I would not want to see that man in one-on-one coverage, and I wouldn't advise any defenses to play man against this team when that man is out there on the field.
Other takeaways, Simeon Price. I mean, he's getting involved in that running back room. And I think another thing we really didn't talk about yesterday, I mean, he naturally got bumped up one on the depth chart with Charlie and his situation medically retiring. So you're going to see a lot of Simeon Price. I like what I've seen there. You want to talk about Phillip Houston?
Yeah, the last player on the field today. I'm talking about after pressures were already over, about 45 minutes after practice, still in the practice fields, working with a trainer, Phillip Houston, by his lonely, putting in work. And this is somebody we talked about periodically on this show, right? Kind of a forgotten man. Started, I believe, 9 games at right tackle for Colorado last year. It wasn't all pretty. There were some growing pains coming up from FIU the year before. But this is somebody who I think by the end of his 9-game stretch of starts was a plus player on this offensive line last year. And obviously he had the injury that, cut his season short and that had him kind of rehabbing this offseason. But he looks to be, if not 100%, very close to it. And again, we were just talking about Larry Johnson. He looks like the guy right there at right tackle. But as we know, you need depth on the offensive line, and specifically Coach Prime has talked about the fact that he wants to play 8 to 9 guys on the offensive line anyway in this era of the transfer portal and, making sure you just keep guys happy and engaged and competitive. So Phillip Houston, man, that was really cool to see, and that is just another option at, that right tackle spot that I think is a viable one.
A couple other things. London Merritt had a crazy play today. We posted that on the Buffs account if you want to go check that out. I mean, Kyle Hamilton that's what someone responded to me when he's done that, going back to Notre Dame, honestly. But he had one against the Bengals a while back where he tips a Joe Burrow pass right in the backfield and it just falls in his hands and he takes it for a touchdown. That's what London Merritt just looked like at practice.
Yeah, I mean, London Merritt isn't a Buffalo. He is at a blue chip program. Like at an Ohio State, at a Georgia, like at one of those type schools. But he's here in Colorado, and I think he's going to make an instant impact as a true freshman, right? They didn't add any edge rushers to this transfer portal class this year. They added 2 guys in this freshman class, though, in Alexander McPherson and London Merritt. And I would expect both of those guys to make some type of impact this year. And London Merritt in particular, I've said this before, I think he's a future NFL guy. Like, he has those type of traits in him. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that was just the first of many highlight plays that we're going to see from Londonderry.
Yeah, I mean, how good must that feel as a true freshman? Your second, fall camp practice, being able to make a play like that, and just as a reminder to yourself, like, yep, I do this.
I belong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here. My second favorite part of that clip was I feel like Juju like wanted to make the tackle to stop it. Like, I don't know if you watch it, but like Juju like flinches towards him, even though
Off
he
the
was
sideline.
Yeah, because I think it was Staub that threw the pass,
Yeah.
and Juju was kind of standing behind it with like the offensive coaches, and then like kind of like I don't know, he wanted to do something about it. He did not want to let it go. It was funny.
I just love the bench reaction too.
Yeah, exactly.
Hurt. Like that is man. That's just what makes football so special, man.
Stole the words right out of my mouth there, Scotty. Absolutely. Quincy Wiggins, again, he was the second name mentioned by Robert Livingston today. He goes out and starts the spring game. Neely has always said, if he ends up ever playing how he looks, we have got a football player on our hands. I think he's made the leap, guys.
You've been on it, bro. I can see it, dude. That is a created character right there. And again, if he can just put it together mentally, consistently, physically, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to see him out there. I want to see, it's kind of one of those guys that you just got to give an opportunity and see if good things can happen, especially when they're doing the right things off the field. It's harder when it's just someone who looks the part and isn't grinding. But like he's been grinding, and I'm just excited to see what happens. Like maybe he has another gear that he can go to out there.
Last thing I've got on takeaways, Scotty, I don't know if you have anything else, but I mean, Neely said it, like when we spoke to him today, it's like, he told us like, man, like I know it's day 2, but like, feels like we're in day 14 right now. Again, everyone is just so comfortable. Like this is truly Coach Prime's program through and through, even though he missed because of health and all that. Everyone is just so settled in and comfortable with what's going on in Boulder right now. It's just awesome. The vibe up there is best it's been, I'd probably say.
And I feel like people like to take, and maybe rightfully so, like the Coach Prime era at Colorado, like year by year, right? And I think we even talk about this sometimes, but like, with that extension signed and his health scare, at least ostensibly out of the way, like this is year 3 we're talking about, right? And that's typically when you start to see a program really try to take on the personality of their head coach and really just become the program when it's run right, of course, like how Colorado is being run. Really kind of become the program that the head man wants it to be. And I think that's what we're seeing. We saw obviously glimpses of it in year 2, going from, 4-8 to 9-4. And, in year 3, year 2 under Robert Livingston, year 2 under Pat Shermer, I'm expecting some big things. And these first 2 days of practice have only, I think, upped my expectations. One more, I guess, takeaway. Y'all see my boy, Zach Atkins? Only needed one.
Great catch.
That's all my boy needed, man. We talked about it yesterday, like just from first practice, like just seeing the tight ends more involved, not even just Zach Atkins, but the other guys in the passing game. But Zach Atkins, man, we could look back at that guy as the guy who, at least on the field, really changed this offense for the better, because his versatility as an inline blocker, as somebody who can go out and run routes and catch passes and make dudes miss, kind of like what we saw in the spring game. That's something that this team just hasn't had. And if they do have it, if they can get what it looks like Zach Atkins is showing us, that could be really fun.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the Discord actually earlier. Shout out to the Discord. Become a DNVR diehard. Get access to the Discord. They were like, this is the year that the tight end woes go away. And I said, I don't know what a tight end is, but I'd like to learn someday. We have. It has been a long time since we saw a tight end around here.
We're not going to be able to hit everything that we had today. Just a couple things, I guess. There is a roster update on the website. If you go to cubuffs.com, go to the roster for the 2025 team. It is updated. Some new numbers are out there. But more importantly, some new titles. We mentioned Coach Bartoloni. He's now passing game coordinator as well as tight ends coach. And then I think this was already known, but Gunner is going to be your run game coordinator. I think that's just great to have your offensive line coach being your run game coordinator. You know that message is going to be sent to run the football. The best title in coaching title in college sports. Warren Sapp officially just pass rush coordinator. I mean, come on.
PRC, baby.
That's so lit.
Suck, pull, drop.
We'll save that for tomorrow. I think that's it, actually. We can save a lot of this. Anything else for you two before we get to Super Chats?
That boy Travis, highest rated rookie on Madden 26. I think one day Travis Hunter is going to be the highest rated player on Madden.
First player to ever get a 100 overall.
I can see it.
He's
Not
so
a thing has
different.
changed for him. Not a thing has changed for him in the NFL.
It's crazy.
Same guy.
I think it's funny too. I think somebody mentioned this in the chat earlier, and I saw it on Twitter. Like Travis, was like, I'm the unicorn, and like the Jaguars, like reporters and press out there, like, oh, that is so cool. Like that is like, bro, we've been calling him the unicorn. He's been known as the unicorn, but like they're finally catching on, and I just think it's so funny.
Something about Travis just like doesn't need a nickname. I don't know how to explain it. He's just Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
It's like there's like Tom Brady doesn't have a nickname.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Just Brady.
Yeah.
It's Brady.
All right, let's go to the Toyota chat, Super Chats, all that good stuff. DJ Flame, what's up, man? He says, what's up, gents? We are finally back. So happy Coach Prime is doing well. I now have more content to watch. Julian looks great on the field. Who do you guys think will have the best celebration this year?
A lot of people have thrown out like K-Salt with the salt shaker potentially being a celebration, and that could be fire.
Yeah.
That could be really fire.
Or you could go
just
Salt Bay.
That'd be so fire. It's kind of like the reverse Manziel.
Yeah. Two-handed too.
Right, two-handed. Salt Bay. So I think that's a good one. I just feel like JoJo could have something up his sleeve. He strikes me as the type of dude that like when he get in the end zone, he gonna have something prepared and it's gonna be lit. But those would be my two picks.
I'm going with DJ McKinney because he had the most out-of-pocket one last year. So
He did, facts.
So I believe him to do something wild again.
The fact bro said that he had a dream about that the previous night. And when it did it is crazy.
Truly.
I got to go with Julian because I think he's going to be the only one to put the wrist back up.
That's going to hit like crazy, though.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Ed. He wants to know if I wash my legs in the shower, just let the water hit them. I wash my legs, thank you.
First of all, pause for asking another man about what he's doing in the shower.
His shower routine is crazy.
You know what? I actually had a group chat that this was a topic for a day a while back of apparently a lot of my friends, like wives and girlfriends, think that it's a myth that men wash their legs. And I was like, that's weird.
I mean, there's that graphic out there of like men just like put soap in the intersections and just let the rest get rinsed by the water.
No. I stay clean. Lotion too, yeah. Same, bro. DJ Flame, Scotty Deep Pockets. How was your interview with Brian Howell? He's the one person that covers CU that I just get weird vibes from. I don't know. It just seems all about himself. DJ Flame's you words, not mine.
My interview with Brian was fine. You know, Brian's been doing this for a long time, man. And you know, when I got on the beat, when I was hired, you know, like November 2023, right as the 2023 season was ended. And I was just trying to get like, you know, bearings about like the beat and whatnot. Like Jake, RK, Brian, Adam were like the first four guys that I followed to like I said, just kind of get a feel for the beat. So, you know, like I said, Brian's been doing this for a long time. He's always been gracious to me and gracious to pretty much everybody that I see him interact with. So, yeah, it was fun.
Facts. DJ Flame again. I still think Leftwich should have been the head coach of the Bucks. Personally, don't care for Pat Shurmur, but He better tighten up and disguise more. Just can't run basic plays. And I already miss Charlie. We miss Charlie too. Gonna miss just seeing him at media days. In about a week or so?
Facts.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, DJ Flame. Big Mike says, love the energy Ben had during the breakdown of the huddle yesterday. Some intense and powerful words. Facts.
Show them what they're missing, baby.
What's up, Rev? He says, I told y'all yesterday the team is going to be on a tear. Coach George yesterday, my God. Facts.
One of the best speeches I've seen in the Coach Prime era.
It kind of reminded me, do you remember Cam's speech this time last year?
Yep.
Kind of reminded me of that. Just like put it into perspective and let's go work.
That's number one for me, though. That Cam speech from last year.
Yeah,
that was different.
Remember people were trying to say, like, if this guy has to say this late in camp, like, this team's going to suck.
Crazy.
Losers.
Brian asks, are y'all going to do a meet and greet at the West Virginia game? We're probably going to have a tailgate, and yeah.
We're kind of working out our plans for the whole travel season this year, but one thing that we really want to make a point of doing is having a meetup that's not a tailgate. Obviously, we want to tailgate with everyone, but we also want to like have a place where we can meet up with people the night before the game and talk shop.
For sure.
I'm gonna be with Pac-Man in West Virginia, so if y'all want to be with Pac-Man, y'all slide with me.
East Coast Kev says, FanDuel has Salter plus 12,000 to win the Heisman Trophy. I'm a betting man, but how bullish are you guys? I mean, look, the Heisman Trophy, I feel like every year, like you could probably take – I'd be blown away, honestly. If you take the last 10 years of Heisman Trophy winners, maybe 2 were in like the top 10 of odds to start the year. It just seems like guys always come out of nowhere. Like, I mean, Caleb was probably up there when he won, you know what I mean? Like, Baker kind of came out of nowhere. Joe Burrow came out of nowhere.
Wasn't.
So, yeah.
Jaden.
Travis?
Yeah.
What's up, Don Peasy? Call me crazy, but always giving me Marvin Harrison Jr. Carbon copy vibes. If you think getting mossed by him is embarrassing, you might not know about Don Peasy just dropping facts on everyone. That's a great comp.
Yep.
Hey, dog, the CU Buffs Twitter page just dropped a clip of Sincere Brown getting up for a catch. My God. Play man coverage against his team if you want to. I dare you.
Oh, boy.
I dare you.
Love that. I got to see this video.
Is that it, Alyssa? I think that is it. All right. I'm so happy right now that we're back talking this stuff, man. God, I missed it.
If only we could get our eyes on it.
Yes.
For real.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky again.
Yep.
All right, chat. We'll be back tomorrow. Still lots to talk about. Day 3 of camp tomorrow. Much more. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.